Download your first mining software. Your antivirus flags it immediately. You hesitate, hovering over allow. This already feels a little sketchy, but you click it anyway. You follow a guide step by step. Wallet address, mining pool, config file. You don't fully understand what you're doing, you just copy what works for other people. Then you press start. Your GPU fans spin louder than usual. A steady hum fills the room. Numbers start appearing on the screen. Hash rate, accepted shares, temperature climbing slowly. You lean in, watching like it actually means something. At first, nothing happens. No money, no confirmation. Just numbers moving. You almost close it, but then you check your mining pool dashboard. A tiny balance appears. Not even $1, just a fraction. But it's real. You refresh the page. It updates again, slightly higher. You sit back in your chair. That's when it hits you. This thing is actually generating something. Not a lot, but not zero either. You leave it running overnight. The fan noise becomes background. A constant low sound you pretend not to notice. In the morning, the room feels warmer. Your PC is still running. You check the dashboard again. A few dollars. Nothing impressive, but enough to feel different. You didn't trade. You didn't work. You just left it on. You make coffee and sit back down. Now you start calculating. If one GPU makes this much, what if I had two? What about three? You open a calculator, then a tab for GPU prices, then another for mining profitability. Suddenly it's not just curiosity anymore, it's possibility. You look at your PC, same setup, same room, but now it feels like something else, like it could be the start of something. You tell yourself, I'll just test it for a few days. Nothing serious, just an experiment, but deep down, you've already started thinking bigger, and that's the moment it shifts. Not when you made your first dollar, but when you realized it could scale. You tell yourself it's just a test, a few days, nothing serious, but you don't close the mining dashboard anymore. You keep it open, all the time, on your second monitor, on your phone, even at work, you check it between tasks. At first, it's just curiosity, refreshing the page, watching the balance move by tiny amounts, a few cents, then a few more. It shouldn't feel important, but it does, because it's consistent, slow, but constant. That's what hooks you. You start noticing patterns. Hash rate drops slightly when your PC lags. Temperature climbs when the room gets warm. You Google everything. What is a good GPU temp for mining? How to increase hash rate? Best mining settings for beginners. You learn new words without trying. Undervolting, power limit, efficiency. At night, you tweak settings. Lower the power, adjust the fan curve. Watch the numbers change. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. But every small improvement feels like progress. Like you're figuring something out. The fan noise is louder now. You notice it more, especially when everything else is quiet. It's not unbearable, just constant. A reminder that something is running, always. Your room feels slightly warmer too, not uncomfortable, just enough to notice when you walk in. You check your earnings again, still small, but higher than yesterday. That's enough. You start doing the math more seriously now. Daily earnings, weekly estimate, monthly projection. You open a spreadsheet, nothing complex, just numbers. If this keeps running, if nothing changes, if you optimize a little more, it starts to look interesting. Not life-changing, but not nothing either. One evening a payout finally hits your wallet. Small, but real. You refresh it twice just to be sure. It's there. You didn't sell anything, you didn't trade, you didn't talk to anyone. It just arrived. That's the moment it feels different. Not like a test anymore, like a system. Something that works if you let it run. You lean back in your chair, staring at the screen, thinking. If one GPU can do this, your eyes drift toward your desk, then your browser, then the tabs you already have open. GPU prices, used listings, benchmarks. You don't click anything yet, but you don't close them either. Because now the question isn't, does this work? You've already answered that. Now it's, how far can I take it? And that question doesn't leave your mind. You don't rush into it. At least, that's what you tell yourself. For the next few days, you just watch. Let the GPU run. Let the numbers build slowly. But your browser history tells a different story. GPU comparisons, used market prices, mining benchmarks. You start noticing things you ignored before. Which cards are efficient? Which ones people avoid? Which ones pay themselves off faster? You read arguments in forums. Some say it's still profitable. Others say you're too late. That should slow you down. But it doesn't, because your setup is still running, still earning, still proving something. One night you open your spreadsheet again. You update the numbers, adjust the estimates, lower expectations a bit, just to be safe. Then you calculate, what if I had 2 GPUs? Then 3. The numbers don't explode. They just stack. Steady. Predictable. That's what convinces you. Not huge profits, just consistency. You open a marketplace, scroll through listings, most are overpriced, some look suspicious, but then you find one, used, decent condition, fair price, not cheap, but not impossible. You stare at it longer than you should, you check your bank account, enough to buy it, but not comfortably. This isn't spare money. This is the kind of money you usually don't touch. You sit back in your chair, thinking. If it works, it pays itself back. If it doesn't, it's just a GPU. You repeat that last part again, like it makes it safer, just a GPU. You open the listing again, still there. You hesitate, then you close the tab. 5 minutes later, you open it again, same listing, same price, same decision waiting for you. Your heart beats a little faster than it should. It's not a huge risk, but it feels like one, because this is the first time you're putting money into this, not just letting it run. You look at your current setup, still humming, still working, still earning slowly. That's what pushes you. You click buy, no dramatic moment, no excitement, just a quiet confirmation screen. Order placed. You sit there for a second, hands still, processing it, because now it's different. Now you're involved. You're not just testing something anymore. You're committing to it. Later that night, you check your mining dashboard again. Same slow increase, same steady progress, but it feels different now, because soon, it won't just be one GPU, and deep down, you're already thinking past this one. The package arrives in the afternoon. Nothing special about the box, just another delivery, but you don't open it right away. You let it sit on your desk for a few minutes, like it means more than it should. Then you grab a cutter and slice it open. Inside, your second GPU. Used, like the listing said. A few scratches, dust around the fans, but it looks fine. You turn it in your hands, inspecting it carefully. This is the first time it feels real. Not numbers on a screen, not estimates, hardware, something you paid for. You clean it a little, plug it in, then you pause. Because your current setup isn't really made for this. 1 GPU was easy, 2 feels different, tighter, more crowded. You adjust cables, shift your case slightly, leave the side panel open. It doesn't look clean anymore. It looks improvised. You power it on. Both GPUs spin up. The sound changes instantly. Louder, not extreme, but noticeable, constant. You launch the mining software. 2 sets of numbers now, 2 hash rates, 2 temperatures climbing side by side. You watch closely. One runs slightly hotter. You adjust the fan curve, lower the power limit, test, wait, check again. It becomes a process. Not just